How do we start this? Do we do a special beginning? Oh, hello! Merry Christmas to you and all of you and your family. It's me and Lyndon.
It's us.
It's Troy and Lyndon with Mission Stories. Welcome.
And don't worry, that's not Troy's house on fire behind us. That's not our immediate peril.
That's just a fire on the TV.
It's like bigger than both of our heads.
Yeah.
I love it.
Would make sense. Welcome to Mission Stories. My name is Troy. This is Lyndon. We're doing it. This is every single week is different with this camera business. So we're finding it with the two of us. Mm-hmm. It's like, because you want to see like the facial reactions, but I don't want to use the iPhones because anyway, it's a bother. Welcome to Mission Stories. We're this is a special Christmas episode. I'm wearing a shirt that's sort of Christmassy. It's got some red hues to it. Lyndon, you're wearing all black. You
also festive.
You look like you're about to kill. I guess it's not all black. It's like charcoal.
It's charcoal.
Yeah. Is that
to represent all the coal that will go in the naughty children's stockings.
Right. And those little children who have been naughty.
It's Christmas for them too.
Wasn't that like the greatest thing you could get though as a child in that time period? Like, wasn't coal the thing that they needed most of all?
Yeah, it was like a consolation prize for sure.
No, but I mean,
I think like toys and candy would be ideal.
Right. Something fun.
Yeah.
It's like if we got socks.
Yeah.
But I actually really enjoy getting socks for Christmas at this. Did you see that meme where it was like the graph where it's just like the older you get, the more you enjoy getting socks for Christmas?
Yeah.
What a funny meme that was. So this is
true.
And it is true.
But not for children.
Children don't like socks. So what are we talking about today, Lyndon?
Christmas.
Here's what I figured.
I think we're talking about the war on Christmas.
Okay, you want to talk about the war on Christmas.
Yeah.
I want to talk about just our Christmas stories. I mean, we've gone through all of our other stories. This is really the last of it.
It's the end.
We've really plumbed the depths. Everything else is just going to be,
whatever.
Recycling. Just our thoughts on random things. So we also have an email or two feedback from our last episode or two.
Right. We got to get to the bottom of a few things.
Also, give us the feedback if this is weird, if you don't like this particular. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't want to awaken anything inside of me. Long dormant. So should we read some emails first of all? Should we start off with some emails?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, this episode brought to you by Apple. I wish. All right, number one is from... Do you want to read this? It's from your girlfriend.
No.
You know what's funny? We didn't actually say... Shoot. Should we go back and...
What?
Well, we never said before who your girlfriend was.
You just go first names.
Okay, Jasmine. But we always go first and last names.
You do what you feel is best.
Anderson. Lyndon and Troy. I've been asking everyone I know about this Zelf business, and no one in my inner circle has ever heard about it. Yeah, they'd like to keep it that way. You've made some bold, spivvy claims about it. What does spivvy mean?
Probably supposed to say bold, spicy.
Oh, spicy. Okay. So bold, spicy meat claims about it. It's clear that you two think the actuality of a dude named Zelf that was a Nephite warrior being found by Joseph Smith is not probable. Lyndon claims the skeleton he found to be 60 years old. I haven't found any official church material on it. You will never find anything about this, I assure you, on it. So it's not like it's a testimony-shaking thing, but it is super sketchy. If you two have actual sources about anything you said about Zelf, I would love to hear them. Merry Christmas. # Lyndon is super hot.
That's right.
Do you think hashtags work in emails?
Why not?
I've never heard of that before. Maybe when I'm checking my mailbox, I'll do a search for that and see what comes up.
Okay. Yeah, we weren't very pro-Zelf
Well,
I looked into when the Nephite chieftain.
Yeah.
He was a Nephite chieftain.
Uh-huh.
Best friends with the prophet at the time, Onadagas.
So wait, what?
Yeah.
This is all...
There's two names. Joseph Smith apparently was like, this is Zelf.
Oh, so he told us like the story that he was telling along.
Yeah, when they like dug up, this is what my understanding is. They found one of these like burial mounds.
Yeah.
And they're like, better dig it up.
Uh-huh.
As you can imagine, young Joseph, he probably busted out his little divining rods.
Yeah, he had a stick or two.
Who knows? Because none of it's recorded, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, here it is.
And so they dug up the skeleton.
And yeah, so he mentioned another name. He said, this is Zelf.
Uh-huh.
And apparently they did find like a little arrowhead in his ribs, so he did like die in battle. This is all just from a YouTube video that Jasmine sent me. So she's like, what are your sources? It's like, my sources are my memory and the video he sent me of this crazy guy talking about it.
Why was he crazy? Because anyone who spends any amount of time on Zelf has to be insane?
Well, yeah, and the conspiracy, because he's like, you'll never find this in church history. And then he like references some scripture where it's like, and the scribes will forget to write some of the things of the history. He's like, we're seeing it right now.
So he was pro-Zelf.
Oh, yeah.
He believed in Zelf.
I think he was probably a Heartlands geography model guy.
Heartland man. So what is the proof? So how do we know that it's not an actual thing? That, like, what is it that they carbon dated the skeleton or what?
Well, I think the fact that it was like 1 foot deep. It said they dug a foot.
Okay.
So this guy's in like a shallow grave.
Right.
Where it's like, I feel like there would be much more biomatter on top of him.
Dirt, mud, grass, moss.
If he was from,
pebbles,
2,000 plus years ago.
Stones.
But
grass. So
I'm not an archaeologist.
And he'd be more, okay, yeah, that would be interesting because mostly what we do is we take things we've heard of before in passing and then pass them off as like the absolute truth. So maybe we should look into it more.
Well, I think
we can be bothered.
I can't.
I don't know if we can be. We've moved on, Jasmine. You should too.
Zelf is not important.
That was 180 years ago. Wait, how old is the church?
180 something.
180 something.
188.
That was 188 years, or whatever. Anyway, so Zelf, have a Zelf on a shelf or whatever. That's like a rhyme.
We could get a little skeleton with a little arrow in its ribs.
Here's the thing. I think there's an anti-Mormon
connotation.
Yeah, with Zelf. I think it's a blog, and there's sort of like anyway.
So if you support Zelf, you're an anti-Mormon.
You hate Christmas and everything it stands for. If you hate Zelf, it's the spirit of Zelfmas.
No,
okay, that one's good. We might take that one out.
So that takes care of that. Any other emails?
There was one more from a very special, the other woman in your life. Your mother. Cheryl says, the best thing about the podcast is knowing that you are one of the true and faithful silently stalking because the hosts don't think that you are listening. So she is the true and faithful silently stalking.
Right.
Ha! She says, yes, Troy, some of the things that spring out of your mouth make me shout out loud. Troy, just zip your lips. You don't know jack about what you are saying. And that's true, I don't. Do you think, what will she think of Zelfmas?
We'll just have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see.
Because we know she's listening.
She's like Santa Claus in that regard. You don't know, Jack, about what you're saying? On the other hand, I've learned some interesting things. Stay on the covenant path and represent well, men. Or it could mean represent well, men.
Depends how you read it.
Depends on how you read it.
This is true.
Is she in Mexico?
She is in Mexico.
It says locale MX.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I did wake up to a message from my father one day.
Yeah.
Just after we'd released an episode.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, just so you know, your mother listens to every episode, and I listen to some. And I was like, all right.
At what point in the podcast?
Well, I think
was
because
this?
you were saying with the video
Yeah.
that now that we record it, your parents will watch it. And you're like, how about
They
you?
watched one.
They watched one. And so you were like, what about your parents?
Yeah.
And I was like, I think they've given it up.
But they haven't.
They have not. And they were prompt to be like, listen here, buddy.
Pal.
Friendo.
Buckaroo.
Miho.
Son of mine.
They're like, we still listen. Just maybe not immediately.
Fair. Weeks, months later, they'll get around to it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Cheryl. Hey, I think it's been years since I've spoken directly to your mother.
Do you want to record a message for her right here?
Hi, Cheryl. It's me, Troy. How have you been? Hope Mexico is nice. I'm sorry for all the crazy things that I say that I don't know anything about. So let it be. Let the disclaimer be that I know nothing, and let's continue on into the new year, continuing just as we are, not changing a thing.
Well, hey, she said she's learned some things.
Okay.
She's taken the raw ore that is this
Yeah,
podcast,
like Nephi.
and she's sifted out
And
the
Zelf.
little nuggets. Like Nephi and Zelf, two 100% real characters.
You can't do that.
No doubt.
There's no doubt. Okay, so we've talked about that. Are there any topical topics we need to discuss in the news? Things that we need to weigh in on? Really hot topics that need us to make our opinions known about it.
I don't think so. I jokingly said the war on Christmas.
Is there a war on Christmas?
Well, I think there's a fictional war on Christmas.
Explain.
Well, like Starbucks releases like holiday Christmas cups,
Yeah.
and I don't know.
You're like, I really didn't. Really,
There's
didn't
like
think
there's
this
like not a
through.
picture. There's not like a nativity scene on the cup, so they're like Starbucks is trying to kill Christmas. And
You know,
and they
probably.
say like everything in retail is like happy holidays. I work retail.
Yeah.
People say Merry Christmas all the time. We just say it right back. We don't care.
And a Merry Christmas to you,
I mean,
sir.
I tell everyone I'm saying, have a good one.
That's every time.
I won't even tell people to have a nice day.
Have a good one.
I'm just have a good one.
And they're like, have a good what?
It's like it's up to you. You choose what it is that you're going to have a
well,
good
have a good
thing
what? A good life, a good day?
of. I would never wish that on them. I would just wish them to have a good one. And if that one thing they want to be good is Christmas, all the power to them.
All the power to them. A good one.
Have a good one.
Just one. They got to come back to you if they want another good one.
Yeah, I don't say have two good ones.
No, you're like, you got to come back and pay another
Get back into the
$33
back of the line if you want another good one.
for Tony Robbins' next book. For that.
We
next
sell
good one.
so many of those a day. You know what I did sell today?
What?
You'll like this.
What?
A copy of Jordan Peterson's book.
Jordan Peterson.
Can we get a Merry Christmas from Jordan Peterson?
Merry Christmas to all of you. And you have to tie your shoe and clean your room and always make sure to brush your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 17 Rules of Christmas by Jordan Peterson.
Nailed it.
Who was it a man that was buying the book?
It was.
Typical. They say they talk about that like it's a problem. I don't know. Do you think the fact that should we dive into Jordan Peterson? Do you think the fact that Jordan Peterson's audience is like primarily male, is that a problem? It's sort of, it gets brought up as like it's only men.
No. I feel like you listened to the last podcast that he was on with Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
listen.
gobble up every word. He speaks.
Yeah, and he talked about how he used to be so defensive about his audience, primarily the majority being men.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, well, why is that such a bad thing?
Yeah.
He's like, here I am out there helping men. Do they not deserve to be helped?
Well, they do, I guess. Or maybe they don't. Maybe men have been so crappy for so many millennia that, you know, they don't deserve anything anymore. And we're the recipients of that millennias of poor behavior, I suppose. But maybe we deserve it.
Someone's got to pay the piper, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that's true.
It's like deferring debt into the future, and we're the ones who just have to pay it.
Well, that's what the SJWs would say.
Life as a white man has never been more difficult. And it's still pretty good.
And it's still great. Despite its hardships, still number one. Yeah, so there's that. And anecdotally,
anecdotally, I think is what you meant to say.
Yeah. The only person I know that went to Jordan Peterson's last show in Calgary, which was like a week ago, was a woman.
Oh,
there we go.
Well,
the women love Jordan Peterson.
Take that, naysayers. Well, there you go. Okay, so that settles that. It's not just for men. The 12 rules of life. Speaking of 12 rules for life, the Bible has 10. Do you think we need 2 more?
Why not like 641 rules for life?
Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back with some Christmas stories. What was your Christmas like, Lyndon, on your mission?
Well, let's see here.
How many Christmases did you have?
2.
Just 2?
Yeah, did not manage to squeeze out that third Christmas on the mission.
So where were you Christmas number 1?
Christmas number 1, I was still in my first area with my breaker.
Yeah.
You must have got to your second area, right?
I was in my first area, because I went out in November. I was out in the.
Oh right, I'm thinking backwards. I got out there sooner than you.
Yeah, I was out there in November. You were out in October.
I got into the field in September, like beginning of September.
So you were on your second area?
Technically, my second area was my first area. We just split the area.
I see.
Right. Yeah.
And I guess the thing ended.
What is?
Now we're running ads for free. This is garbage.
No.
This is garbage. No. Excuse me.
I will not. Okay, it's back.
Never mind.
I will not have my Christmas stories ruined.
Guess we just gave them some ad revenue, though. Okay, so sorry. You're in your...
it's still technically my first area.
First, second area.
Or technically my second area.
Yeah.
It was technically my first area.
Okay.
With my breaker.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know anything about how to have a good mission Christmas. But my breaker was like, I've been around the block.
Yeah.
It was his second Christmas.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was his second Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, here's what you do. You go, and he's like, you gotta reach out to all the members, get all the invitations, lock up your schedule.
Yeah.
And he basically just like solicited us to like the wealthiest members in the area.
Yeah.
And so like we went to like this high councilman's house for Christmas and ate like caviar. It was like a Swedish, and it's like, he's like giving out these little boxes full of cash to everyone. So we like
a box full of cash.
Yeah. So we went he went home with like $120.
Jeez Louise.
I only went home with like $60.
Only 60.
Just $60 and some caviar in my pocket.
You and Tiny Tim basically just like getting ripped off at Christmas time. Did you do anything else that was fun, or what did you do leading up to Christmas? Did you get a package from your parents?
I did, because that was my first Christmas, so they went hard on the packages.
What was in your package?
Lots of Terry's chocolate oranges.
How many?
At least 1.
At most 2.
Maybe more.
1.5.
There was lots of the little Canadian treats. They're like, get them some ketchup chips.
Ketchup chips. I got fuzzy peaches, I think. That was my go-to.
Oh, yeah. I would have got wine gums for sure.
Wine gums. Those are good. Are those Canadian specifically?
I think it's Maynard's. Maynard's. And so I feel like that's like a Commonwealth thing. Okay. You got to get that in like Canada and Britain.
Australia. New
Zealand. Maybe India. I'm not gonna say for sure.
I really don't know who's still in the Commonwealth. Hard to tell these days, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I didn't mean anything by
Hard to say who's a real Commonwealth
Who's
nation.
in the Commonwealth?
I haven't tuned into the Commonwealth Games to see who the participants are lately.
You know, I've never done that,
Yeah.
but maybe I should.
Yes, that was and you know, it hardly felt like Christmas because we were in Mesa.
Right.
It's just sunshine.
Did you put up any?
Actually, I remember it getting weirdly cold. If you want to, because if we want to talk about the climate in Arizona,
Yeah.
it doesn't get cold enough to take the moisture out of the air.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that like moist cold.
Is there moisture in the air in Arizona?
In the winter, you'll get a little bit of a little cloud. The high pressure system over the valley doesn't get as high pressure.
Right.
And so
Okay.
it'll get, it'll go from like 0% humidity to like 15.
Oh, okay.
It'll get wild.
I didn't know that. I thought Arizona was just arid and dry as a bone.
No, there's a monsoon season in late summer where it'll rain cats and dogs. And then in the dead of winter, it'll get a little bit moist.
Did
Like we had to like wear like long sleeves when we rode our bikes. Like if you wore your short
Yeah.
sleeve t-shirt, you'd be like, "Ooh, I'm cold."
like how cold was it? Do you
Well-
remember the temp?
Oh, it would like drop down to like 12 degrees Celsius, I think,
Okay.
which is not cold at all.
It's
I'm
quite
like
nice.
I'm like running around in shorts when it's 6 degrees in Calgary right now.
Yeah.
But there it's like 12 degrees
Uh-huh.
and a little bit humid.
Mm-hmm.
And you're almost just like, I wish it would just, and it might like at night, it might drop down to like 5 or 6 degrees.
Mm.
And this is
Wind?
like for like a week. This is like for a week. And then,
Worst
then it's,
week of the mission.
and then like January 1st, it's 25 degrees and you're sweating again.
Wow. How does that work? What a crazy place.
It's a wild place. People are just like playing golf on Christmas Day.
Georgia gets cold. Georgia's very humid, and the temperature does drop, and it gets
Yeah.
to the point where it's just like, I'm chilly. This is
Yeah.
cold.
Won't it actually like on occasion snow down in Georgia?
It will.
You'll get a dusting of snow.
It snowed 2 times, I believe, on my mission, and it was like icy too. Like people would freak out about the ice. There'd get a little bit of ice on the road, and then it would be like, nobody go anywhere. This is a disaster. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to us. And so people, all of our appointments would cancel. All of our team ups would be like, my wife tells me I'm not allowed to leave the house tonight. I'm so sorry, elders. And then they like quickly hang up before we could, guilt them into coming out with us. So that was that was an issue.
That's true. I know in my second Christmas area was before we jump ahead. It was up in the mountains of Arizona. There's like 3 feet of snow.
Yeah.
And my companion was from Florida, and he made me do all the driving because he's just like, this is not safe. He's
Right.
like, I should not be driving in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you're from Canada, you do it. And I'm like, the snow don't care where you're from, Elda. You'll slip off the road just the same.
Just the same as I will.
You think I won't die driving in the snow?
I'll kill us both.
So yeah,
Watch me.
those Southerners, they don't
Merry
like,
Christmas.
they don't like driving in the snow.
That's
So yeah. No, there's like, it would be like people, it was like a treasure. There's like this famous picture of the Mesa Temple from like, 1918 where it's covered in snow.
yeah.
Because they're like, one time it snowed. 100 years ago it snowed.
God smote us with snow once.
So if it snows like twice a year in Georgia, it snows like twice a century in Arizona.
Yeah. Wow. That's incredible. So, my first Christmas was in Griffin, Georgia.
Griffin.
I had just switched from my trainer to my greenie buster, my breaker, whatever you want to call it. My next companion. He was not as gentle as my first companion.
He wasn't as
was.
attentive to your needs.
No, he was just like, "Come on, elder," and I was like, "My legs hurt." Oh, we were on bike and stuff. And I just remember he would like tease me, and I was like, I regret everything to this day about how I was just like the perfect person to tease, I feel, because I got bothered by stuff. So we were like driving in the car once, and we're talking, I think it was like the 4 of us coming from district meeting or whatever, and then I had gotten like a slip from the mailman saying that like I had a package at the mailbox. My companion's like, I was like, can we go get my package now? And my companion's like, I don't know, Elder. We might have to wait till after Christmas to get your package. And I was like, why? I want it before. And he's like, calm down. Of course we're going to get it, you loser. And I'm like, okay. So we get the package. It's full of nice stuff, candy, whatnot. And then for actual Christmas, what did we do? We went to this family's house. And all I remember is this little kid. They were in sort of like a poor neighborhood, but it was like a nice family, and it was like a nice time, nice experience, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Had you ever had Christmas with like another family before? I'd never had that.
No, not until the mission.
But it was like, because you're missing your family, obviously, but it was like nice to be with these people. And I just remember this kid, he must have been 4 or 5. He was playing darts, and he threw it, and it like landed square in the center of the whole circle in the center. Right in the center, right in the bullseye is what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha.
And it was a Christmas miracle.
A Christmas miracle.
And everyone jumped for joy. And
A small child.
Camera panned out, and one little snowflake went past the camera. Anyway, so that was really... Oh, no. Okay. I got one more for this Christmas.
Okay.
Should we do this podcast for 2 years, and then at the end of next year we tell our second Christmas stories,
Right.
and then we finish it?
Then it's over.
Do we want to commit to another year? I don't know. So anyway, Christmas Eve,
Right.
the 4 missionaries in our district go to this family's house. They have a bunch of kids, and they're like one of these sort of upper crust families, it felt like. And they were like, and so
You also had a companion that knew how to solicit yourself for Christmas?
yeah. He was like, let's get the good families, the rich ones, okay?
We don't want to be eating menudo on Christmas.
So we go to this house, and there was it was all nice, and I think we were participating in like the nativity scene or whatever. And then all of a sudden, there's this shriek from one of the kids. They just scream out. They're like, "Daddy, Daddy, come look!" And the dad's like, "Oh my gosh!" And he goes and looks behind the couch, and there's like a bunch of throw up
Ugh.
all behind the couch. And so all the kids come running. Of course, we get up and add to the confusion and the mayhem, and we're like, "Oh, that's weird." And they're like, "It's Bessie, the dog. She's sick." But they didn't know where she was. She was like hiding. So like, spread out. We got to find her before she strikes again. And so we're all just like kind of creeping through the house. And then like we go into like the family room. There's like another like pile of throw up all over the floor. And we're like,
It's like a murder mystery.
yeah, it was like Jason was roaming the house, just like killing spots on the carpet, but it was a dog. Anyway, so that was a lot of crazy confusion, a lot of wacky Christmas confusion.
Is this is second Christmas?
First Christmas.
First Christmas
Yeah.
still.
This was New Year or Christmas Eve.
Mm.
Christmas Day it was what I already mentioned. But so that's what happened. Really, not much of a story besides.
Well, that's
give us
those dog stories again.
Give us a Lyndon summarizes the story in one sentence.
Dog eats chocolate.
No chocolate.
Dog is just sick. Sick dog ruins Christmas. Must find dog.
I love like the semicolon in there. Sick dog ruins Christmas. Yeah, so that's what happened. That was like my first Christmas. Were you sad on your first Christmas?
I think so. I just remember we went to the Institute to make our phone calls.
Okay.
On the church's dime.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a terrible connection. They're like really old phones. My family's like, "You're really quiet." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
They're like, "I think it's the phone." They're like, "Or are you just sad?" I'm like, "I don't know. One or the other. It's just, it is what it is."
Yeah.
A little backstory.
Uh-huh.
Christmas had been ruined for me for like a while. So it's like the year before, Christmas before my first Christmas on the mission, I was lying on an inflatable mattress in the basement with strep throat.
Okay.
And Christmas was the worst. I like crawled up from my cave in the basement just to like participate in activities and then go back into the basement and be sick and spit in a cup. And then the year before that is where there was family drama, and my mother and my grandmother, may her soul rest in peace, got into a yelling match with each other.
Okay.
And like my sister and I are once again in the basement just like hiding, listening to them yelling. And then my dad had to like take her home, had to like grab her and drive her back to Calgary.
Grabbed your grandmother.
Yeah, it's like, well, Christmas is over.
Roughed her up a little bit. You're going home, Grandma.
Well, not exactly like that.
No.
He's just like, well, I guess you can't stay here anymore.
Gently grabbed her. Yeah.
So it was like 2 years of terrifying Christmas, and then 2 years of Christmas on the mission. I became Scrooge.
How do you feel about Christmas now?
Well, now, if you must know, my family has gone to Mexico for Christmas and left me here in Canada.
Yeah.
I have to take care of their cats and drive them all to the airport.
I see.
But that is my duty.
And you abide by the Jordan Peterson rules of life, where you seek to burden yourself with responsibility to give yourself meaning and quality of life.
Tomorrow morning, I'll make a trip to go buy a dryer handle so I can ship that to Mexico. So the condo in Mexico will have a crisp new dryer handle.
What a good man you are.
Will I ever use that dryer in the condo in Mexico? No.
Do you have any Christmas decorations in your place where you stay?
No.
I don't either.
I found like a box under the stairs, I think full of my brother's Christmas I don't know.
Are you going to put some stuff up?
I was like, maybe I should.
I thought about that too.
In fact, even today at work, an older woman that I work with, trying to be all motherly, is like, Lyndon, do you have Christmas plans? I worry about you. I was like, going to Christmas with my girlfriend.
Where?
In Cardston.
Cardston.
So she's like, I can rest easy knowing that you'll be taken care of.
When do you go there?
I think I finish work at 6:30 on Christmas Eve.
And
all my doors and windows in my house will be locked as I announce my Christmas plans on the podcast. Be like, now we can go rob them.
I'll be gone from here.
I have nothing of value, and my house will be locked tight.
Locked up tight with nothing in it of value.
And then I start work at 7:30 in the morning on Boxing Day.
Wow.
Just got like a little day trip.
Got that retail life going. Yeah, here's what I figure.
Because you got big Christmas plans.
Yeah, I'm going to Disneyland. Come rob me from the 18th to the 27th.
But I'll be here looking after your cats.
Yeah, my cats and all my electronic drums, my thousands of dollars of equipment. What was I going to say? Here's what I'm thinking as far as like episodes go. I say we release this one this next week, and then we take a Christmas hiatus because we have a special guest, Josh Langstaff.
Teasing it.
His episode, I just won't have time to do it. I could probably do this one because it's, this camera, but I think we'll take a Christmas hiatus. The week of Christmas, or should this next week be the hiatus, and then Christmas week we release this one.
Send us your emails.
Send us your emails.
When do you think this episode should be released?
When should it have been released, really, is what we're asking.
So think about when it does get released and be like, I really wish it came out, blah, 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 blah. Hey, I've told the Christmas, my Christmas snow truck story.
Tell it again.
That's from second Christmas.
Well, don't tell it yet. Oh, I guess we should take one more
Christmas
break.
truck story after the break.
Okay. Christmas truck story. Let's hear it, Lyndon.
Hear it again for the folks. This was this is my highlight reel when I'm in job interviews telling people about this podcast.
Yeah.
Because it's the most important thing I do in my life.
Yeah.
They're like, give us one example of a mission story you'd tell on the podcast. And I'm like, listen to this.
Check this out.
This is where I gained legend status on the mission. Ooh. So as I previously mentioned, We're up in the mountains. We have like little trucks that we drive around.
Little ranger type things.
Well, Colorados and Canyons. I think mine specifically was a 2009 GMC Canyon.
Ooh, yeah.
Crew cab. Four-wheel drive. Four. Did I take that thing off-roading in the mountains? Out in the forest? Yeah.
No. Yes.
All the time.
Every day.
Actually, it's actually pretty great. There was this...
You'd go and dump a bunch of Book of Mormons out the window and then just
start throwing them on the Apache land. We're like, here you go.
Yeah, we did it. We got rid of all those books.
like there's a quota to get rid of them.
That's like a Jeremy Olsen era thing, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeremy.
But there was like this this dirt road that led to our cabin in the woods that we lived at.
Yeah.
And then like the dirt road stopped being like maintained.
Yeah.
But it was still there and would connect to another maintained road.
Okay.
And it was always like some missionaries would be like, you're not allowed to take that road because it's not maintained and it's dangerous. And it's like, challenge accepted. It's a shortcut. I'll take it every day. And you had to like pin it through the mud, and it was great.
That's awesome.
But anyways, the mission, it was the Mission Christmas Conference.
Yeah.
The mission president's like, we're getting everyone. Except the elders in Yuma. They're not invited.
Not wanted.
Yeah. Or were they there? No, I think it was literally everyone. They pulled, because if the people from the mountains came down, I think they brought the people from Yuma.
The people of the hills have eyes come down. And
if they invited the hill people down. But like I had also mentioned, it was like El Nino year.
Yeah.
And so the mountains of Arizona got like 3 feet of snow. Mm-hmm. And there's just hilarious videos of me diving headfirst into snowbanks and almost suffocating. We'll have to get that up on the Instagram.
Let's put it up, yeah.
Where it's like Elder Naglis just dolphin dives into a snowbank and gets trapped, and I have to like dig myself out.
Ooh, can't wait for that one.
That was a good one. But I was like, you know what we got to do? Because it's like 20 degrees down in the valley. I was like, here's what we do. I was like, I called up everyone in the district, and I was like, get your trucks, pack them full of snow. We're going to haul down truckloads of snow to the valley for a mission-wide snowball fight.
Oh, yeah.
And so some of them complied, and they're like, okay. But here's the thing. I engineered it.
To your command.
Yeah. I was like, listen up, chumps.
Listen up. This is like a movie, like a
they're
like a Little Rascals escapade sort of thing.
Good. They're like, Don Lyndon wants snow.
Hefe wants snow.
Do we do it?
Do it.
He's like, Hefe Naglis isn't my boss. He's not in my district.
Cut to you murdering him
drowning him in snow.
Force feeding him a snowball you crafted from the truck. Sorry.
That's exactly what missions are like. But I was crafty. Is like for aesthetic reasons, we like left the snow because it filled up the bed of the truck completely, just naturally.
Yeah.
But I was like, this isn't good enough. And I packed it down and just kept packing snow down.
Yeah.
And then we all drove down an entire zone as a convoy. And this is where and we all have the mantle of missionaries upon us. And so we drive through the Rio Salado Canyon, which is basically just like the baby Grand Canyon.
Ooh.
And we were like insane. Part of me is like, we have to get there as fast as possible so the snow doesn't melt. And also we're like young men who are just like, we're under God's direct command. We can't die.
Yeah.
And so we drove just like 100 miles an hour down that canyon. And it's like, I was driving because my companion from Florida is like, I can't drive in the snow. And it was truly angels that kept that entire convoy on the road. Like we're just going down the switchbacks on this canyon as fast as
Can
these.
you imagine?
Like the tires are like squealing, and there's like, but we're just like.
How many cars were in the convoy? How many trucks?
I think because any of the missionaries from like St. John's, which I'm not even sure where that is, but it was all like the Sholo missionaries.
What's that?
So the Sholo is kind of like the biggest town in the mountains of Arizona.
Okay.
So where there's like Sholo, Pine Top Lakeside, and like some small surrounding towns. Mm-hmm. So it was called the Sholo Zone. Mm-hmm. And there's like one district that was like way out by New Mexico.
Yeah.
we didn't go down with them. Forget about them.
Yeah.
So it was all the show low trucks. So there's like 6 or 8 trucks. And it's just hilarious to these fleet vehicles, just 6 of them, just like passing people, 6 cars moving as one, 100 miles an hour. Ridiculous. But then we get down to the conference, and because no one else had packed the snow in their truck, it had all melted. But in my genius,
Hot tubs.
packed all the snow, it was still there. And it actually had because it was compacted. It kind of slushed up just perfectly for snowballs.
Yeah.
So we have the Christmas conference, and during the Christmas conference, during the meal, I'm like, snowball fight after the meal in the parking lot. I was like, I brought the snow. Pass on the word. So that everyone in the mission.
Pass it on.
We're going to throw snow at President Craig.
We're going to make an ice ball, throw it at his head.
We're all going to get hurt really bad. It's going to be icy. It's going to cut us up.
And
everyone's like, yeah.
I'm going to use this in job interviews later.
And so, yeah, and then the conference ends, and everyone just rushes out to the parking lot, and I move the truck out into the middle of the battleground.
Yeah.
And it's just, 170 missionaries throwing snow at each other when it's 25 degrees in December in Arizona. It was a magical time.
And the camera pans up, and a single snowflake crosses the lens.
Mm-hmm.
And
in fact,
then what happened?
Well, and then my proudest moment, I guess, my mom heard this story in Texas. She was at a missionary's homecoming in Texas.
Yeah.
Who served in the Tempe mission, and he told the story.
Word traveled.
Of me bringing the snow down in the truck.
That's incredible.
I was like, I'm a legend.
Yeah.
I'm the best.
That's
and so Christmas was saved by my heroism.
Lyndon, you really did save Christmas that year. Do you think you can save Christmas again this year by doing something similar at your girlfriend's place? Starting a snowball fight, for instance, or a food fight.
Telling the best joke at Christmas dinner.
And we all wait with, fervent on our heels waiting to hear what that joke was. Lyndon, that's a great story. It reminds me that at this time of year, Christmas time is the perfect time for snow, which is why I'm going to California on this Wednesday. Is there anything else we need to discuss before we close out and wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year?
Well, I think it's important to remember the true meaning of Christmas. Mm-hmm. And the best way to do that is to just stay true and faithful.
Bye-bye.